Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen. We got a phenomenal show for you today. We got a lot of great people calling in to tell us about what they've been catching this week. I'm super excited. It's Saturday morning, everybody. Get your cup of coffee and get ready to kick back and listen to some phenomenal fish reports. We got a good day ahead of us. The weather looks absolutely spectacular out there on the water. I don't know if anybody watched Justin fishing last night, but oh my goodness, they caught a lot of lobsters last night. Catalina's on fire. They had such a good time out there. And we have some guys reporting from Long Beach Harbor. It looks like Long Beach Harbor starting to crawl pretty good. Don't know much about San Diego. Didn't see much on social media about what's going on down there. So I'm not sure if it's crawling or not. Hopefully, we get some people to call in this morning and tell us about what's going on in San Diego. But yeah, it looks like a phenomenal day. Anybody that's going out on their boat to go fishing. But hey, we got big news here with our buddy Jack. Jack, good morning, man. How are you today? I'm doing great. Welcome to the show. Thanks for calling in. Start our show off today.
Of course, I'm honored to be the first call in.
And how cool is that? I'm just going to put it out there to be inside with Marty on the squid boats and all the different people that you get to contact because of your relationship with your saltwater guide.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, yeah, Marty's a great guy, and for those who don't know, Dave introduced me to him. He's a long friend of Dave, and he's in the squid industry, and I think one of the best. They call him the Highlander out here, so he catches a lot of the squid, so he knows where all the boats are. So, great resource.
Yeah, that's who I get all those bitch and squid videos from. And he's always there for. He answers the phone when you call him. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. That's the thing. It's you know you it's I think someone else who I met through the website, Sonny, who's also a guy. He always talks about it's about knowing the right people.
Absolutely.
Marty and you and Sonny. I mean Justin, right? I mean they're the right people, and they get you what you need to be successful.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, guys, it's Jack calling in. Jack's a member of the website. Jack's very active on there. He's always posting some cool content on our website, on the community area. And that's our first caller today. John Stanley was asking who's our caller right now. So, Jack, what's going on, man? What did Marty give you some inside information? Don't say where.
I won't. Yeah, so you can find out where on the website. But yeah, he was. I wanted to go fishing, and I messaged Marty because I want to know kind of where the squid is, and he told me certain areas to check out. And when I went there, there was, when there's bait, there's usually fish, and that's exactly what happened. So we got two halibut, we got a lingcod, a bunch of other kind of mixed in fish, and a bunch of big mystery fish too that pulled a lot of line and broke us off. But all in all, it really stemmed from calling Marty and having me get that inside information. So,
yeah, one of the cool things you told me was no other boats. Kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, no other boats. That's the thing. It's like you get someone like Marty. He's got that inside information, and he's part of the whole commercial network, right? And those guys are out there, every day 365, right, when they can fish. So it's like they're not like. It's not just the recreational guys that we're getting resources from. We have, commercial ties, which is, huge.
Right. It's pretty spectacular. Thank you so much for listening to what he had to say and going out there and doing it. And then letting us know what you caught was super, super good for all the members. I know a couple of them are up there today, poking around on those numbers you gave. And hopefully they have some great reports like you did. Pretty cool, though, to go to an area with no boat. Right?
Yeah, no, it's great having that inside information, and I think one member was up there yesterday, and I think he got a couple good fish. So that's all in all, that's what we want.
Oh yeah, it's cool that the members share on that community exactly what's going on, isn't it?
No, it's amazing, and so you kind of get to know where they're fishing, all that stuff. So as as things start to pick up for fishing, after the spring, with all this squid, it, should only get better. Everyone's going to be fishing a lot more. So we'll have more information.
Right. Well, Jack, I know you got a busy day today. I thank you so much for taking a few minutes to call in and let everybody know how special it is being a member of your Saltwater Guide. And thank you very, very much.
Of course. Thank you, Dave.
All right, Jack, thank you. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon, gang. That's what's going on at your Saltwater Guide. And I'm super stoked to have Jack call in first and let everybody know. The information that we share at your Saltwater Guide, second to none. We're different than any other website out there. First of all, we have 4,000 plus members sharing what they're doing every day on the water. Then we have 4 guides that are out on the water every day. Then we have the ability to call all the guys that run sport boats and run commercial boats and talk to them, and they share their information. And then if you're a member like Jack and you ask, I'm pretty easy to get phone numbers from. I'll give you the number. You can get a hold of the people yourself. Everybody answers us. It's kind of an amazing deal. We've been in this industry for so long. To have contact with members, to have contact with the fleet like we have, is pretty incredible. So I can't thank you enough, Jack, for sharing the information. Most people won't share. If they go out and have a good day fishing, they're not going to tell you what they're catching. They're not going to share that information with you. But over here at your Saltwater Guide, I believe it's super important to share everything with everybody. I think that's the missing link in this industry, is too many people hold on to that information. It doesn't help the industry. It doesn't help the bait company. It doesn't help the mom and pop coffee shops. It doesn't help the donut shop. It doesn't help the fuel dock. What I started doing 20 plus years ago when I was working with the guys over at Fish Dope, we started sharing information. When I was working with Phil over at 976 Tuna, I started sharing information, real information, because I thought it was important for all the private boaters to have a chance to go catch fish like we caught on the sport boats. Yeah, I was crucified by the industry for sharing our inside information. But then you know what? Bait companies started calling me up, asking me, are you making the report today? Because when the private boaters get to know where the fish are biting at, lo and behold, guess what? Everybody starts fishing. And that tuna thing, offshore thing, that's pretty easy nowadays with AIS and everything. You can go follow the fleet around. But to get the inside information that we share over here at your Saltwater Guide, that's different. To learn where the sea bass are biting the Catalina or San Clemente Island or the yellowtail or any of the fish that are biting at islands or anything, we have inside information on that. We let you know exactly where you need to be, when you need to be there, and what you need to do when you get there, which is pretty incredible. And then Lisa was out fishing with Justin last night. I don't know if she's awake yet. I know they got in super, super late, but hopefully she jumps on here because we're going to give away a free hat. And we'll hopefully before the end of the show, if you can guess and leave the comment and guess how many lobsters Justin ended up with last night, throw your comment up on the screen right now. The first person that says the right amount of legal lobsters Justin caught on his live show last night, we're going to give you a free Your Saltwater Guide hat, and you can pick that up at the show. Hey, Matt Ryan, you want to give us a call and let us know what it was like fishing in Long Beach Harbor the other night if you're not too tired? Yeah, I have a couple more hats than Lisa. Now, this hat was given to me by my good friend Tim Ogilvy, who's getting ready to go up to Paradise. He's getting ready to go up there. And what do I call Paradise? The Eastern Sierras, the Lee Vining area, all that stuff. I love that area. I love the smell of the pine trees. I love that trout fishing for brown trout, rainbow trout, and those beautiful brook trout. All that Eastern Sierra has always been paradise for Kelly and I. We love it up there. And Tim Ogilvy's going up there Wednesday. What I would love to do is stow away in your car. Oh, you're okay. No problem, Matt. That's good. You made a great report on the website. Gang, if you don't know what we're talking about, over on the website, the community is insane. All the guys and gals that are out fishing, members of your saltwater guide, share what they're catching every day. Not only do they tell you, hey, I caught 15 lobsters, or I caught 21 lobsters, or I caught 9 legal lobsters. They tell you where they caught them at. It's pretty crazy. Also, if you pick up the telephone and you call me, or you call Justin, or you call Sonny, or Al, or Pablo, we answer the phone and we give you the inside information. So it's pretty incredible. Last night, Chris, there was 6 people fishing. Last night, there was 6 people fishing, and he caught hundreds of lobsters. There was so many lobsters coming over the rail. Poor old Bob was measuring like a madman, and Justin was wanting to get the hoop nets back in the water as quick as he could. And the couple of little guys on the boat, young kids on the boat, having the time of their lives, running up and down the ladder, hanging out with Justin, learning about fishing. Everybody had so much fun on the boat last night with Lisa. Oh, Justin, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How you feeling, champ? You going to make it? You going to be okay? Justin just texted me in case Lisa doesn't wake up in time. She was having a really good time last night. She may be sleeping in this morning. Our buddy Justin was supposed to be going out tonight, but he was really getting sick last night. So I don't think he's going to make it out on the water tonight. So I doubt very seriously we're going to have a live show tonight. But what I was trying to say to everybody is the community is the key to your saltwater guide. The community is something no one else. There he is. There's Justin. He's still feeling like crap. So he will not be fishing tonight live. There he is, though, on here. And he sent me the numbers. So I'm just letting you know. So far, nobody has said the number that Justin ended. Oh, wait a minute. One person did. One person has sent in the numbers. So that person won the hat already. I'm sorry. Yep. And rescheduled tonight for next Friday night. Great. Perfect. Keep them going, man. Keep them going. It should be really good next Friday night. I don't know if you saw the reports, Justin. You didn't. But there was some good fishing in Long Beach Harbor last night. So it should be really fun this weekend. It should be really, really fun. Yeah, Bill, if you want to call in for a couple minutes, give us a fish report on the beach, that'd be great. We are here. You go. Hold on. There he is. What's up?
Hey, Guy. How are you today?
I'm living my best life. How are you?
I'm warm. I'm happy about that.
Good for you. Good for you, buddy. Yeah, it sounds like some fish are biting. Some things are happening, but we got a massive storm coming in here Wednesday. Things are going to change dramatically.
Absolutely. We got probably Wednesday through, I'm going to say next Monday with, like you said, wind and rain, and it's hard to know how strong it'll be, but it's a coming, and now's the time to get out fishing before it gets here.
Absolutely. And today is an absolutely beautiful day on the water. I was looking at windy.com. Looked great. Then I looked at Channel 5 News this morning. They were showing the water in front of Huntington. Flat, calm, beautiful, beautiful day out there.
It has been exceptional weather on the beach day for really like 2 months, but over the last week and today and stuff, it has been exceptionally calm down at the beach. There's been a small swell. It's been really glassy, a little bit of wind. My buddies were down there yesterday texting me picture after picture, just working me over with some of the best spots down there. So that's going to continue good until we get into early next week, probably about Tuesday, Monday night into Tuesday. It's going to start rolling in, and the weather will be changing. So get down there now if you're going to do it.
Have you talked to anybody? Has anybody been surf fishing in any of your hot spots after the game plans you put out?
You know, there has been a number of different people that, with the game plans out, who not only, will they go fish the spots, but they're smart. They'll text me, they'll call me, they'll email me in advance, like the day before, and say, and I know where they live. We've already talked about their techniques and stuff. And they'll say, hey, I'm going down. Where should I go? So I'll give them direction on what beach in their area, what baits to use, how to rig up there, what's been caught there. I get really dozens and dozens of reports every single week from all different anglers from our community, Facebook, emails, text. It comes from everywhere. It's excellent. So get a really good view of what's going on down there, really from Santa Barbara all the way to the Mexican border.
And if you guys don't know what Bill's talking about, right there on the bottom, right underneath Bill, you see the QR code on the screen. That's how you can become a member of Bill's game plans. He puts them out every Thursday. They come out about 3:30 in the afternoon. And the really unique thing about it, gang, is he tells you exactly where to fish. Hey, we got a caller, Bill. Hold on. Oops, sorry, Dave. Hold on a second. I make a boo-boo. Give me 1 second here. I'm calling you right back. This live stuff is kind of crazy. David, I'm sorry I hung up on you.
That's all right. How you doing?
There he is, gang. Dave, can you tell everybody how much fun you had at Catalina the other day?
I had a great time at Catalina, man. Great winter fishing going on.
That report you put up on the community, that's the kind of reports we all need. That was so decisive. You talked about everything you saw, everything you did, and then where you found the fish. Don't tell anybody where you found them at, but just kind of talk about what happened over at Catalina. That would be awesome.
Yeah, man. Typical Catalina fishing trip. You get there and you start looking at the conditions. Getting over there. Started at my first point over on the east end and, a little windy, cruise around the backside. Just from hearing from how everybody fishes the backside for halibut, I said, all right, let's give it a shot. Looking at the water conditions, the closer you got towards the V's, it started to get really nice. And I figured this is a good place to set up and start drifting. So a couple drifts in, nothing. And, time wasn't on our side because traffic was pretty gnarly that morning. Started moving up the beach a little bit more, and sure enough, we get a halibut bite. It was a short one, but you know what? The game plan's working out. Just keep run and gun, do it over and over.
Right.
And,
you learned you got the idea of how the conditions work because of watching the videos, right?
That's right. The spots that I was at, the surrounding area, the conditions, what to look for, everything from Saltwater Guide. You'd be fishing in the dark if you didn't have it.
Right. I see so many people posting on social media saying, you need to go figure it out like I had to. It's like, why? Nobody's got that kind of time. It's kind of nice to take the curve out of it, right, David?
Yeah, it is. And you give us the map and tell us where it's at, but that's only a small piece of the puzzle. You got a lot more to figure out once you get there.
And you did. That's what I loved about that decisive report that you put up on the community. You kind of explained to a lot of people exactly how conditions are totally different. And you just you went and you hit spot after spot after spot until you were rewarded at the end by a beautiful halibut to take home and have for dinner, right?
Right. And it was bottom of the ninth. And, to be honest, you kind of get a little discouraged. You go, maybe today's not the day. Maybe I picked the wrong day to go fishing. No, you just got to keep scratching until you find them.
Yeah, I was super excited when you called me and told me what had happened. I was like, yep, that's what it's all about, because you didn't give up, because you already knew what you were doing. You knew what you were looking for. You knew if you stayed with it, never, ever, ever give up, no matter what. And you didn't give up, and you got a halibut. And for a lot of people that are listening right now, that's a bucket list fish.
It is. It's a beautiful fish. And to understand how they might, I wouldn't say migrate, but how they feed, what their patterns are, where they like to hang out. That's a whole other fishery that you get to take your time and relax and figure out how to learn on the off season.
Right. And I'm pretty stoked that you dove into the website full bore. You jumped in and like I tell everybody, I can see all the videos everyone watches, and I can tell the people that are going to be successful and the people that probably aren't going to hang out. A lot of people think you can just sign up to the website and you're going to catch fish, but you watched almost, I don't know, you watched over 100 videos. You kind of got it. You kind of understood that it's a puzzle. You have to learn how to put it together, and you can't just sign up to a website, grab some GPS numbers and be successful, right?
You can't. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. You got to put this puzzle together real time.
Yeah, and that's what you get at your saltwater guide, either whether you're looking at Pablo's game plans or Justin's game plans or my game plans or Bill Varney's game plans. If you don't watch the other part of, take the game plan, you go over to Catalina, you had the greatest intentions to catch it your first spot, but you knew things weren't looking right there, right?
They weren't. There's no signs of life. There's no bait. There's no current. You know, you start to add the stack up against you and you realize that you're not in the zone.
And then you start picking the island apart, and lo and behold, whammo, David was rewarded with a beautiful halibut.
Yep. It was a great experience. And I'll tell you something I'll never forget is one time we had a similar plan and he said, give me a call if it's not working out for you. And my wife and I, once again, striking out, we gave you a call. You helped us get some info real time, and bam, we landed a really beautiful halibut.
That was a spectacular day for me.
Yeah.
I remember that day like it was yesterday, and Kelly girl and I were having some lunch. I know exactly where I was sitting at the table and everything, and I told you, and then I don't even know, it wasn't 15 minutes later you sent me that picture of that beautiful halibut.
Yep, that was awesome.
It's pretty crazy that there's something like this out there, isn't it?
It's insane. For somebody like me who, didn't come from boating, didn't come from a big fishing family, who, had to figure this out on my own, this is a big win. This is, the information is invaluable. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
Well, thank you so much, David, for calling in and letting everybody know. And it's like I try to tell people all the time, once you guys figure this thing out, how much information is available there, it's so cool that you want to tell everybody because it's that special of a deal. And I appreciate all of the members that share this stuff every day.
Yeah, again, thanks, Dave. Without it, I don't think I'd be that successful.
You probably would have sold your boat already. Thanks, David.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Dave.
Have a great day. Hey, gang, we got Bill, I want you to see this. We got a brand new sponsor over here at Your Saltwater Guide. Just signed up contract today. This company is called Colder Ice. This is an amazing product, gang. I'm going to show you a little video. We're going to launch this with the owner at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. We'll have some product. We're not going to be selling a million pieces at the show. We're going to show you it and how it works in conjunction with Deckhand Sports, the kill bag. This is going to make your ice colder. The product is called Colder Ice. It is an amazing product. I got a little video here. I want to see how it works on the vertical deal, Bill. Let's see if it plays, how it plays out.
All
here.
right, gang, check this out. Colder
Let's
Ice.
see what it looks
Can't
like.
believe it. You have to try it. Be the first to have one-of-a-kind ice brine. Can't deny it. You'll have to try it. Works every time. What this product does is it helps prolong your ice in your Deckhand Sports kill bag. You just have a jar of this or a container of this in your tackle box, in your backpack, and when you throw your ice in your kill bag, you just put a layer of this on top of your ice, and this is going to prolong your ice. It's going to make it colder, and it's going to make it last longer. This product is absolutely incredible. I got to try it. It's amazing how it makes the ice colder. I know it's hard to imagine, but your ice will be colder. We're going to launch this product at the Your Saltwater Guide booth at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Festival. If you want to check it out, we're going to be talking about it every week. This is our new sponsor for our Saturday shows. Colder Ice, ready to go. Put it in your tackle box.
So, gang, that product, we're going to show you the container. We got a bunch of them ready to go. What it is it's an ice brine like they use on the long-range boats. It's kind of like the RSW system, but you get to use it in your kill bags. You can use it in your kill backpacks where you take them and go surf fishing with Bill Varney down on the beach. Any product that Dave has that you put ice in, this is going to make it just a little bit colder. In his kill bags. Don't get me wrong. The ice lasts forever. But when you can make it a brine system like they do on the RSW systems on the long range boats, it's a click up into a different level. So I want you guys to all check this product out. We'll be showing you more about it. The commercial really didn't work good on the vertical view. So stay with us. Don't get discouraged, but we're going to show you this product. I think you're going to love it. The price point is incredible. We all can have one of these in our backpack or in our tackle box. The container is 12 ounces. It's small. It fits right in your backpack or your tackle box. So check that out. So
very cool. Very cool.
there I am. There you are. Hi. That was fun.
You're back.
Live. I got too many buttons to play with. It's crazy. The whole restructure of Restream. Now we know why Steve Carson had a hard time getting on. We know why Don Brockman had a hard time getting on, because Restream changed the game 2 days ago. So yeah, we got new buttons. This format here, for some reason, this format, YouTube loves this when we stack Bill and I on top of each other, or Don Brockman or whoever, when we stack it. For some reason, YouTube pushes this out to everybody faster than the normal way we do it side by side. So that's why we're doing this, is because the audience is much bigger over on YouTube. On Facebook, it doesn't seem to matter. You guys watch us over there all the time. Instagram, same thing. But YouTube, for some reason, loves this format, Bill. I don't know why.
They must have some reason to do it. So let's go with it. All we care about is fishing.
Absolutely.
They can run the computers.
Yeah. And you were talking about the surf fishing thing before we had a couple callers. We got more callers coming in. I staggered them along.
Oh, good.
Talking about the surf fishing thing, what's going on, gang? We have some big swell and some gnarliness coming on Tuesday night, Wednesday. So the whole thing's going to change. So like Bill was saying, if you have an opportunity to go fishing today or tomorrow or Monday, get out there, right?
Yeah,
Bill?
I mean, just whether you go fishing or not, just take your family, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your best friend down to the beach and take a walk. We have some astronomical tides this week where we've got some 8-foot tide changes. And like, you know how much fun it is, Dave, to like go down and walk around one of the jetties down by the beach you like to go to and check out the starfish and sea anemones and the urchins and all the mussel and the fish swimming around there and the tide pools. And it's beautiful. And then it's going to blow, and then it's going to come Monday or Tuesday. We're going to get into our normal winter pattern. It's going to get this northwest swell stuff going and the bottom churned up. And in a week, when it calms down again, things will be different. And normally what happens in the winter for about 3 days after it rains roughly, or is a stormy period, is when the fish really start biting again. They really do take a break for a couple of days there. By the way, I saw that Seawolf asked me about a past year's calendar, and then John was nice enough to say that he's got one. If you need more than just a past year, just send me an email, fishthesurf@mail.com, and I probably can dig one up from all of the last like 8 or 10 years or so and send them over to you.
Yeah, cool. That'd be awesome. Just so you guys can see a little bit of history and how it all works. And Dean, if you got a couple minutes, call in and tell everybody about what you're doing out there. But thanks for going to that spot, following the game plan and following our hot spots. It sounds like you're catching some fish. You don't know. When you're catching a bunch of whitefish, that next bait could be the big whopper. It could be the big sand bass, could be the big white sea bass. You just don't know. But Dean, thanks for following along on the game plan. It's amazing, Bill, how easy fishing is if you follow the game plan.
Well, in a lot of ways, life is a lot easier if you follow the game plan. Just go down the straight and narrow. Just take the advice and work it. Dave, that I've always done in business and in fishing, that's a crossover. is I've always planned my work and worked my plan. So like before I go surf fishing or long range fishing or out on the boat to Catalina, I think about in advance what my goal is, what my plan is, how I'm going to rig in advance. So when I get there, I'm not trying to figure things out and there's a surprise. Going on the site and looking at all the different videos from everything from anchoring to hooking your bait correctly allows you to know those things in advance so you can make your plans and you can be successful whether you're down at the beach or out on the boat or you're over at Catalina.
Right, exactly. It's all about having a plan and executing the plan. That's the key to this whole fishing thing. A lot of people ask me, how were you guys so successful on the sport boats for so many years? It's because we executed our plan. We'd wake up in the morning, we knew what we were going to do, but when we got there, if the conditions weren't right, you had to go to plan B or plan C or plan D. And like I tell all of you, when Bill gets to the beach, as he's walking to the edge of the water, he's looking over and he can tell which way he's going to go and where he's going to fish. Hold on, we got a caller. Mr. Matt Ryan, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Bill. How you guys doing?
We are doing phenomenal. Super happy you just called.
Yeah, hey, I just want to say thanks, Bill, for that Zoom meeting the other night.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being on there.
I hope everything works out with the sand bass and everything that we're talking about there at the end.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for waking me up, Bill. I was sound asleep. I didn't know that I didn't start the Zoom call on time. So. Woo-hoo. Yeah. But so you guys got some stuff discussed? You guys solved the world's problems on the Zoom call, Bill?
Well, we talked about a little bit about what's going on in fishing, down in the surf. And that's the thing is, we not only have the weekly and you can call me and so forth, but we have the Zoom so we can really narrow it down to what's going on along the whole bite there. So we talked about that. But the most important thing is we talked about the show and how those folks in the group before the show on Friday, we're going to go bait fishing. I'm going to show them exactly where to find ghost shrimp, clams, sidewinder crabs, different worms and things like that at the beach. And then the next morning, Saturday morning, we're going fishing.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
That'll be fun. That'll be crazy. You guys all show up at the show, all sandy. That'll be awesome.
Hey.
Yeah, and what was really cool about that Zoom is not only do we get to talk to you and Bill, but we get to talk to each other, the other members. So I think that's going to be a good idea for you guys to keep on doing. That way we can be more of a community.
Oh, yeah. That's the key, I think, Matt, for sure, is the community, the camaraderie, the coming together. That's why Kelly Girl and I get so excited to do the PCS show, because literally, if you guys haven't been there with us, and Matt, you were there a couple times last year, it is absolute mayhem in the Your Saltwater Guide booth all day, every day. And we love that. I love seeing you all, and I love being with you. But now with the Zoom calls, it kind of brings that same camaraderie, right?
Yeah, totally. And, that way we get to see each other face to face and, maybe buddy boat later, in the future, if we are out there helping each other out, we can get on the same radio channel, talk to each other, all that good kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's
we are in the modern age. I'm telling you, Matt comes on, he's in the locker room changing out of his suit. Then he makes his way to his truck. Then he goes to the gas station. We get to see what the price of gas is on the corner. Technology is amazing, but it's so fun to have the community because it's cool. It's just we're living our life, having a good time, and it's like having a club where we can chat about fishing and learn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, but I did go lobster fishing last week, so I kind of called to talk about that too.
Yeah, tell us what happened.
Man, it was right after that little rain that we had, a couple days after, and they were crawling like crazy. It was great. I don't want to give out too much, but we caught a total of 40, and out of those, we had 12 keepers.
And there were some quality, man. When you showed me that picture, I'm going to put it up on the screen while we're talking. There was some quality lobsters in that.
Yeah, not bad. And, the guy that I took, he's only done it twice, so he was having a blast. Every time we bring up a hoop with lobsters, he was freaking out and having a good time. So A lot of fun.
And there's Matt up on the screen right now with a handful of those lobsters he caught. Look at the size of those things. Those are some beautiful bugs. Beautiful. I bet that was a good dinner.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah. We love your reports too. You're always there to share your information, which is probably one of the most important parts of the website is the amount of information that gets shared by the members.
Yeah. And, I share because I appreciate the platform, and more members need to get on there and share. Even if they don't catch fish, share where you went, share what you did, what the conditions were, and why you didn't catch. Don't be embarrassed if you didn't. We're not going to, make fun of you or anything. Just get on there and share.
Yeah, that's one thing about the website. Thank you for bringing that up, Matt. We don't do any negative on our website. There's never a negative comment. If there was, that person would be banned, but we don't even have to worry about it because there are no negative people on the website, which is pretty spectacular. You don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah, this is a website where we understand that fishing's fishing. You don't always catch, but get out there and share. That's the most important part.
Yeah, and even bad reports are information that we all need. So we need to know what you did to not catch or what the conditions were like to not catch. So you're absolutely right, Matt. Never not report. If you go out fishing, leave a report no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really.
Well, hey, I'm going to bring a chair over to the PCS show. I'm just going to take a nap in your booth, Dave. So
good luck with that, brother.
I'm going to be camping out over there.
Good luck with that. It's going to be mayhem with everybody in there. I don't think you'll have 5 seconds to relax. Everybody's going to want to meet Matt Ryan. Yeah.
Also, shout out to Deckhand Sports. I got that. I took advantage of that deal that you guys had last week and got my bag, and then he threw in, a bunch of cool swag. So I really appreciated that.
Well, thank you for taking advantage of that 30% off. Dave is the real deal. It's pretty cool to have him involved in the community like he is.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
We'll have to get back to work. You guys have a good one.
Thank you,
Have
Matt.
fun at work. See you, buddy. All right, we got a guy calling in here. Hold on. A lot of people calling in, gang. Listen, if you call in and you can't get through, take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. We'll get you on. It's kind of weird. You're watching the show live and you hear us talking to somebody. There's a pretty good chance that's why we're not answering you. It's weird. Okay, here we go. Let's see what this young feller has to say. This guy's about as passionate about fishing as I am. Can you hear me, Joey?
Good morning.
Got you here. Go ahead, buddy. What's going on?
So, with this sand bass deal, I personally think it's, just not a logical sense the way that they're handling it. When there is a lot of fishermen who go out there and just enjoy catching and releasing fish. And I personally feel the impact it's going to have is that it's going to deter the younger generation from wanting to get in and go bass fishing. I mean, I don't, not everyone wants to go run out and catch bluefin every day. Not everyone wants to go do the Catalina, San Clemente Island deal every day. When, there's a lot of fishermen who enjoy going out with their families just to get out and go catch bass, maybe keep a couple for dinner, but I don't see any science from them that can really back them trying to make a closure on the bass fishing.
No, you're absolutely right, Joey. And we've been talking about this every day on the podcast, gang. If you don't know what Joey's talking about, I put the QR code up there. Bill Varney and I are super involved. Everybody we bring on the show is super involved in saving the barred sand bass. And we're going to have a Zoom call on the 13th of February that we're all going to be involved in. And it would be really, really cool to see 30,000 people on that call. And there's no reason we can't, gang. on your Saltwater Guide platform. We get somewhere around 30 million views a month. So I know that the audience is there. And I don't care if you're in Florida, if you're in Washington, if you're in Australia, you guys watch the show every day. We see you. If everybody gets on that Zoom call on the 13th, it's going to show the commission that we care. Can we change their mind? We don't know. People that say it's already been decided, that sucks that you feel that way. But then again, you all thought that Orange Man wasn't going to win the election, and look at what happened. So just have like Joey, and just have a positive thought in your mind and join this. If we show them how much we care, Bill, I think that's going to make a big difference. And we can't rely on other people to solve these problems for us. Right, Joey?
No, we cannot. We need to assess our voice as fishermen who believe in a positive conservation. I mean, for example, when I go white sea bass fishing on the coast, if the white sea bass biting happening on the coast and I see a whole bunch of sand bass and calicos on the meter, I'm going to tie on a hookup bait. I'm going to get an anchovy. I'm going to get a sardine. I'm going to get a surface iron. And I'm going to have a good time. Now, am I going to keep every bass I catch? No. 90% of the bass I catch go home unless they get gut hooked and it's a legal size to take. I'm going to make some amazing tacos, and I'm going to feed myself and my roommates and their kids. And I think this impact they're going to do is going to really take away from the kids' enjoyments of going out with mom and dad or grandpa, or if grandma, dad, grandpa don't have enough money for a nice boat. What about the impact it's going to have on the family-owned businesses like what your dad started, what Bill Poole and everyone started in San Diego, what the Thompson family started in Newport? It's going to have an impact. It's going to affect small businesses, and it's going to take away from the kids having fun. And you can't be against kids and families going out and having a great time out on the water, learning about fishing, learning about the environment, learning about the recreational side of sport fishing, and enjoying the whole experience. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, you know, my dad enjoyed the albacore deal. He enjoyed the bluefin thing. He enjoyed the marlin. But his favorite thing to do with me as a kid was us going to Pat's Bait and Tackle, which is now Hogan's, putting out a chum bucket at the edge of the kelp line, and me and my dad laughing all day, catching 100 fish and maybe keeping 5.
Right.
I mean, you know, going out and fishing ain't always about the keeping.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about the experience you get to have with your family. And if you want to keep some delicious fish to feed your family with the cost of groceries going up, you should have every right to be able to. And like I said, not every fisherman is going out there to keep bass. I mean, for example, when the stock assessment on salmon grouper, they tried to say, so salmon grouper are endangered, you can only keep one. Well, when you put a submarine down there with these bright lights, I guarantee you the fish see it and are like, well, what's that? And they take off. You know, to them it looks like predator, but over time they saw that stock assessment was not right. There's more salmon grouper in the ocean than I think people even know. And just like what you know, Dave, and I know, and every good fisherman who grew up from the 80s through about 2005 when that sand bass fishing was at its peak, those fish are extremely migratory. And not just on our coast, but look down at the Tijuana flats. There's a huge school of sand bass that migrate from south to the north, and that's how we got all our fish. Well, that was when all the anchovy was here, and everything's changing now. We're going back into that colder water cycle where we're going to see more squid, we're going to see more anchovy, and what's gonna be right behind it? These big schools of sand bass and barracuda that we used to have all the time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Joey. And I thank you for calling in. I love your passion. I got some other people that are trying to call in. So
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. Thank you for creating this awesome show that people can call in. I'm going to download the format for February 13th. I'll be in Cabo sometime soon, and I will come over and say hi to you, Kelly, and Mr. Marley.
Absolutely, Joey. It'll be good to see you. Thanks for calling in, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. So, hey, gang, Bill Varney and I are here. We're taking fish reports. If you got a fish report you want to call in, I got my good buddy Rick right here. He's been dying to get on the show here. He called a couple times. Here we go. Rick, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hold on a second. I got all kinds of things going wrong here.
Sure.
There you go. Yeah, we got no Elliot today. He's in Vegas, so I'm trying to do everything.
Well, you're the Elliot.
Yes, I am. What's going on, Rick? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I am doing great. You know, you put out a phenomenal game plan the other day for my backyard, Santa Monica Bay. And, we acted on it yesterday because I wanted to get out there as soon as possible. My buddy and I went out there diving, and unfortunately, we didn't find the squid, didn't find the halibut, but I did get my personal best lingcod, 30-inch,
Wow.
just huge. Can't even believe how big this thing was. And I've shot lingcod out there before, and they're generally just over legal, but this guy was a monster.
Nice.
So that was really cool.
Oh, yeah. How wonderful is that? I just want everybody to know, if you haven't been on our website or you're not paying attention to the community, Rick, not only does he stand on the deck and fish with the fishing pole, he spends most of his time under the water, Bill.
I know.
And he's telling us what he's seeing under the water, which is pretty epic because it really gives everybody perspective of what's going on out there. Right, Rick?
Oh, absolutely. And I found the mystery fish out there too. Jack's mystery fish.
Oh, yeah.
Black sea
Yeah.
bass. I was thinking it been sharks because we see sharks out there quite a lot. I don't even know what they are. They're just gray, just a typical shark, maybe a dusky or something like that. But when we were out there, two huge, probably 150-pound black sea bass were roaming around us. You could darn near touch them, they just like to get in your face. But I'm pretty sure that's what Jack got schooled by.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Big sea bass, big black sea bass. But the thing, I want you to talk about that black sea bass for a minute, Rick, because that fish has been in a moratorium now for 30 years. We haven't been able to take that fish, which is kind of weird. But then on another note, it's kind of cool because the spear fishermen talk about those things swim right up to you and look in your mask. It's not like,
oh yeah,
and it's a giant target. It's not really cool to be spearing those things, right? It's like shooting your dog.
It's a dead shot. You can get your spear within inches of it and shoot it. So it's really not very sporting to shoot those things, but they are really neat to see underwater. We're diving the Star of Scotland. I think it was last year. There must have been 8 or 10 of them on the Star of Scotland, and they were just hovering around. You could have shot them all, but so to some degree, I think it's good that there's a moratorium on them because spear fishermen will
devastate
they're
them.
just too easy.
Yeah, there's no reason to shoot them spear fishing. They're fun fish to catch rod and reel, and then it's a hard fish to release. But what I wanted you to talk about is the mass quantity of them. They're everywhere, right?
They're everywhere. We see them on the Star of Scotland. We see them when we're diving for lobsters in Topanga area, Santa Monica Bay. That's shallow water. We see them out there. It's amazing. That might only be 30 or 40 feet, and they'll cruise by us. So at least the Santa Monica Bay area, I know there's quite a few out there. See them out at the Hawthorne Reef. You know, there's a lot of them. Just a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful fish when you see it, gang. It's just like, it looks like, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's
just
like a big piece of chocolate.
Yeah, they got like a golden brown color, or they got polka dots. They're just, and they just cruise with they're not worried about a thing. It's such a bitchin' fish to swim with. I got some spots at Catalina where I took my kids. They were little, and we could dive with them all day long, and you can pet them. Yeah, I love the fact that there's a moratorium on them and you can't take them. For one fish that needed to be protected. Bill and I and you, we're old timers. We remember all the old pictures hanging up in all the old restaurants of these 300 and 400 pounds.
Yeah, from the Hermosa Pier, some huge ones. But yeah, there's so many, and you know what's unique about them too is that they have their pattern of spots is individualistic. You know, they're like a snowflake, or a human. Everyone is different. So we had caught this one at the Huntington Cliffs. That was probably 40 pounds, 35 pounds, and took a good picture of it, let it go. The next year, in exactly the same spot, we caught another one about 10 pounds bigger, and took a picture of it. And when I brought him up on the computer and I looked at him, it was the same fish. It's awesome. They're an awesome fish.
And then, Rick, you did something else a couple weeks ago that I was super stoked about, because I taught on the game plans. We're not going to say the spot, but you went down there on your boat and you jumped in the water down there and you put a post up. The lobsters are about as thick as they can be there, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And I got a post up today about the lobsters, too, on a good spot. And it's a great spot for hoop netters. Anyone who hoop nets Santa Monica Bay, you'll want to read this one, because it was good. We limited out in no time.
And that's the thing about the community, right, Rick? Bill loves everybody posting all that. For me and Bill and Pablo and Al and Chuck, when we give you guys some info and then you go and you execute it and then you post about it, oh my gosh, the feeling that we get in our heart, it just makes us feel so good. And so you have always, since you became a member, you've always, I don't even know if the word is justified my game plans, but you jump in the water and you go and you look and you're like, yep, Dave's right. This is all here. Yep, Bill's right. This is all here. Justin's right. That's all there. So you give us a totally different perspective from in the water. And I can't thank you enough for that.
Oh, absolutely. And one other thing, just, you know, a lot of people think it's a fishing site. You know what? It's for scuba divers that enjoy spearfishing and catching lobsters. You know, it's just as important for us as anyone who goes fishing.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. You do take it to the next level. And the amount of information that Rick shares on the community, gang, second to none. You're not going to get that at a dive shop. You're not going to get that anywhere. It's just so cool to have you as a part of this, Rick. And I love when I see your name on the community. I know it's going to be a bitchin' report. You're going to let us know, even if you don't catch anything, even if you don't spear anything, you're telling us exactly what you're seeing under the water. It's so cool. And unfortunately, we got this phenomenal amount of weather coming on Wednesday. So if you got an opportunity to go diving, I would definitely go diving again before Tuesday, because the water's going to get funky.
I wish so much I would, but my buddy's gone this weekend, so I'm landlocked Sunday.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you for calling in. Thanks for letting everybody know. We appreciate you so much. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Have a great day. Bill,
hey,
we got another guy calling in that you know. Go ahead, talk.
I was just going to say that, you know, Rick and I have something in common, and that we're both divers. And that was one of the ways that, like, I learned so much about surf fishing and where fish are in the surf or near rocks or on all that. And I've dove all over the world, Italy, Canada, Mexico, Guatemala, Brazil, all kinds of places. And you know what's the same in all those places, Dave? Is what the fish do. The fish do the same thing in Brazil as they do in Hermosa Beach. They're looking for food, current, oxygen, and a mate, and that's about it. And once you got that figured out and what they like to eat, you can catch them anywhere in the world. And diving really helps. So like when Brett goes diving and he's over at Catalina, maybe he's an area where there's underwater structure, or there's lobster, or there's white and black sea bass, or whatever. He knows that when he gets back on his boat and comes over the next time, not only what the top of the water looks like, but what the bottom actually looks like. Makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely. I got certified when I was like 25 years old, and I wanted to jump in the water at all the spots we were fishing on the sport boats and go look at what it looked like under the water. And that allowed me to really hone in on my captain skills when I would jump in the water on the spots, and I would start to understand where the fish hung out on what part of the reef, or what part of the rock, or what part of the hard bottom, or what part of the kelp. So diving is a really good tool to figure out the fish, like Bill said. But Al Clowers, what's happening, Captain Back Bay?
Good morning. Always good to see you two on there yakking.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, you showed my good friend Ron a hell of a day the other day. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I took Ron on the exploratory mission to the bay, and our focus was halibut and bonefish, and we wanted to check the bay sharks as well. And we should have 5 or 6 bonefish. We ended up with 2 nice big 17 inches. We got a 20-inch halibut, and we got a 100-pound bat all in a few hours to the restaurant and have lunch.
Yeah. Now listen, gang, when Al just kind of breezed over to bonefish, he didn't really lock onto it. Like I personally, your saltwater guide, I got to fish in a million different places. I've seen some really cool stuff, but catching bonefish in San Diego Bay, Kelly Girl will tell you, I still talk about it like it was yesterday. When I went fishing with Al, that is a spectacular fish. People fly all over the world, Christmas Island, the Bahamas, all over to catch a bonefish. You get with Captain Al, this is dead of the winter, Al, and you caught 2 bonefish. Come on.
Right. And we didn't try too hard either. We were just kind of hopping around a little bit. But yeah, I went back there to check them, because I'm getting quite a few inquiries about it, but it's go time. So they're definitely there. They're a little lethargic, but they are biting. And that was just one day. The next day you go back there and catch 15 of them. But in January, just catching a few and getting around it and being able to see what we do and all that other stuff is phenomenal, And right now, I'm sitting in the middle of 25 chum tubes I'm putting together, and it's beautiful, calm, sunny conditions here in San Diego. I know we got some weather coming next week, but in between these weather systems, which aren't very big anyway, it's beautiful here. And for all you light line fishermen that want to catch bonefish, it's time to go.
Absolutely.
And Bill, talk about, while Al's on here, just talk. Bill, you've fished all over the world. You're kind of in that zone of the bonefish world. That is like, I can't even emphasize to everybody that's watching how spectacular it is to go to San Diego. Super industrial, man. Millions of people, cars, boats, airplanes, stuff everywhere. And you're in the back bay of San Diego with the guy. He is the guy back there. There's nobody that knows more about that back bay. He taught me so much about all the history of the back bay and the power plant that was back there and all the different things. But Bill, you and Al talk about this bonefish. Gang, if you have an opportunity, I don't care. Don't wait. If you got an opportunity to go tomorrow, you can catch a bonefish. You don't have to catch 30. People fly all over the world to catch 1 bonefish.
Exactly.
Talk about that.
Here's, one thing about the bonefish, first of all, and I wonder what Al thinks about this, is that a lot of the bonefish that I've caught in Mission Bay and San Diego Bay have all been kind of around the 12-inch size. It does look like they're getting bigger. I watched the video and I saw Ron's fish. That was a nice bonefish. A bonefish that size, like 17 inches, and Captain Al knows this, it fights like a 5-pound bonito. but it's maybe shaped and looks like a smelt. It's a crazy fun fish to catch. Now, if you're fit, like I went down, I flew 11 hours to go to Venezuela last year and fished them right off the coast of Venezuela. 11 hours. Here you can go to the back of San Diego Harbor and catch. My buddy who lives in Hawaii at Ala Moana on a sand crab caught a 10-pounder. So these bonefish, they get probably up to maybe around 12 pounds or so, maybe a little bit bigger. I don't know if you have an ability to land one if it's much bigger than that. It's almost like a trevally, but really exciting. And to think that, Al, you're getting these in the back bay this time of year, it's just going to get better as time goes on. And how big they are. I mean, if there's 17 inchers, there's probably 20 plus inchers down there. And what are they going to be next year? Even bigger.
Right. Yeah, they were. I call them a couple of the fellas. So for San Diego Bay, this one I've got is 19 inches.
Wow.
But 17 to 19 inches here are great fish, you know. And then, you know, it's different fishing here. It's easy. I mean, you 11 hours one way to Venezuela and then 11 hours back, hotel, all those expenses. I'm sure you spent about $5,000 on that trip at least. But right here in San Diego Bay, you know, you book me and it's very economically priced and everything's done for you and you're fishing with bait. So we're not sight fishing them. The water clarity in San Diego Bay is not clear enough to go sight fishing for them. But we fishing with bait and it works really well. And the bycatch is insane too. Like Ron, I took the shark rods, right? Because I like doing that stuff. A lot of people, you know, they're like, whatever about raising shovel nose and leopards. But I'll tell you what, Ron went from typical laid back, kicking back to when that rod went off. Dude, he was like a kid in a candy store. He was hopping all around that boat. It was cool. So it puts a little trip together where you see a lot of different species if you're up for it. You know, there's no sense of not trying to catch them when we're right on top of them, you know. But not only bonefish, but there's big leopards and small leopards and 5-foot shovel nose and giant bat rays and the little perch and stuff like that, and the bonefish, spotted bay bass. There's halibut back there. The whole nine is back there. So some days you can catch 15 different species in one little 3-hour session.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. General Rambo, every single day we do this live show 6 days a week, General Rambo, and I answer comments always. And my phone number is on every bathroom wall in America. I answer all calls and I talk to everybody. I'll answer whatever questions you have, whether they're super negative or super positive. I'm not afraid. I'm there. Like I said, people are blown away that my personal phone number is everywhere to be found. But back to what Al and Bill are talking about, gang, there is no reason to wait.
No,
there is absolutely no reason to wait. Call Captain Al Clowers right now. When we're done, the QR code's up there on the screen. His phone number's on the screen. People that are driving in their cars, Al will give his phone number before we're done. But here's the deal. If you wait until the stars line up and it's the day you get to go, it's going to snow that day in San Diego Bay. You don't want to wait, gang. You want to get on Al's calendar. Opportunity to catch a bonefish in Southern California has got to be on the top of most anglers' bucket list. Going with Captain Al, you can bring your children. It's super kid positive because you're in the bay. There's a restaurant 5 minutes from where Al's fishing. Slide into the restaurant. Kids get bored. I know kids get bored. You go to the restaurant, get them something to eat, go back out there, do it a little bit more. Al sets the trip up to whatever you want to accomplish. But the key to this whole thing is you don't have to go out in the ocean. It's not a 9-hour trip where you're hours one way and traveling 2 hours back. You're literally, like you told me, and it was a little choppy. You guys were back at the dock in 28 minutes.
Right.
And Ron caught his first bonefish. Ron loves to fish. Ron gets to fish a lot of cool places. Ron fished in Alaska with me. Ron fished in Mag Bay with me. Ron fished Catalina all the time. He also fishes that halibut out in front. He was so excited when he was driving home, Al, about the bat. Hey, I was like, dude, you got a bonefish. He's all, Dave, I caught 100-pound bat ray. I'm like, dude, calm down. You caught a bat ray. He's like, no, it was so cool. We're fishing in 4 feet of water. I caught 100-pound bat ray. It took me around the boat 4 times.
Exactly.
Could you imagine if you had your child on that trip?
That's why we call them mud marlin. Man, they will give you a fight like you can't believe. Yeah, they get up to the boat and you're like, okay, that's not something I want to take home and eat. But as far as a fight's concerned on those bat rays, I mean, they will take you around the boat, like you said, 4 times. They'll get you on your knees up in the bow there for like 20 minutes, man. They will take it to you. It is fun. That is fun stuff.
It's a blast. Captain Al, give everybody your phone number.
619-800-3474. If you forget, it's 619-800-FISH.
Doesn't get much easier than that. And Captain Al is a huge contributor to your saltwater guide. He's always there for me. He fills in when other people can't make the phone call. Him and Bill work very closely together on a lot of stuff. They're collaborating to do some trips in the springtime where it'll be fun, but there's no reason to wait until then. It's time to go now. You could book Al for tomorrow, or you could book him for Monday. I would say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You're going to wish you were out with Al on these 2 days that we got, Sunday and Monday, because the weather's going to get garbagey here real quick. But if you guys have a chance to go with Captain Al, you will not be disappointed. And plus, another thing about Al, he's about as honest as you can get. So he's not going to take you if it's going to be crappy. He just he doesn't want to go. He's an old guy like me and Bill. He doesn't want to go out there when it's garbage weather and it's freezing ass cold. So you're going to get the truth from Captain Al. You're going to get to have a time of your life. And if you bring your kids, dad, mom, you got an opportunity to catch a bonefish, and your children got an opportunity to catch fish of a lifetime. That bat ray, that they'll talk about that till they're my age.
Yeah, I've had hundreds of kids that I've taken back there with their parents, and we're out catching spotties, and I'm like, hey, you want to catch a bay shark? And they start jumping all around the boat, and most of the time it happens, because I wouldn't say if they wanted to catch one if it wasn't prime. and I take them back there, man. Dude, the whole ride back to the boat, they're jumping all around the boat. The parents are just so excited,
Way better than going to Disneyland.
Yeah. And I think and Captain Al, if I could just add too, it's like when you're on the water with you and you're in San Diego Bay, you have such a unique perspective of all the buildings. You go underneath the Coronado Bridge. There's so many incredible naval ships that you see. You see these huge yachts, these multi-billionaires yachts out there. It's such a beautiful ride alone. And it really is an experience of a lifetime for people who have never done that and had that perspective before of being on the water and seeing what the San Diego Harbor looks like. It's really incredible.
Right. There's a lot of stuff to see. Some days a battleship goes by, some days an aircraft carrier goes by, some days, all kinds of cool stuff. And fishing, you can smell the tacos from TJ because you can see the mountains.
and remember when we were out, and God knows, we might have been the only ones to see them, were the Navy SEALs coming back in their special speedboats, super low to the water, all dressed in black, no lights on, in boats that probably go 60, 70 knots. All dressed up in all their camo. It was amazing. The stuff you see, I've seen submarines, battleships. You just name it, destroyers, and everything down to the SEALs coming back in. It's just an incredible place to go.
Right. You might get a quick glimpse of one of those giant sea turtles back there as well. But yeah, it's really cool. And I have plenty of time and plenty of availability right now. It's time to go. I'm doing some service on the Riviera, so it's down till the 11th. But this fishery is going to gonna be going good until probably it'll go through May, but I will start focusing on the offshore stuff. But up until then, it's time to get the string already booked up. So it's time to go. There's no reason why.
Yeah, and you and I, Al, we're going to have all of our dates, and people can sign up at the show for when we'll be fishing together, inviting folks out on the boat for the month of March. March. So looking forward to that.
March would be great. Oh yeah.
And gang,
everything spawns in March back there, so it's crazy. So they're starting to move in and sniff around right now.
Yeah. Gang, the thing, Rambo, you're asking another question. Listen, anybody that's sitting on the fence can't figure out if my website's worth it or not. Here's my commitment to everybody. I give you a free look for 7 days. You get to see what Bill's doing, what I'm doing, what Al's doing, what Justin's doing, what Pablo's doing. We have over 500 how-to videos. We cover your boat, every single thing you can think of. And if you come up with an idea that I need to make another video, believe me, I am not against making more videos. I put out 27 brand new videos every single week. So to make another video for you on the website that you want to see something, the interactiveness on the website is mind-boggling. And I know a lot of you are skeptical going, there's no way they give away all the information. There's no way. Well, we do. And you can go look for free. Rambo, I give you a free look at the fishing website made by fishermen for fishermen. It's free. All you got to do, and I know it's scary, is call me on the phone. My phone rings pretty much from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night every single day. I have over 4,000 members. I got Bill Varney. I got Al Clowers. I got Justin. I got Pablo. I got all those people calling me, plus all the members calling me, plus all the sponsors calling me, plus all the social media people calling me. I get 30 million views a month. I must be doing something right. But if you want to still try to figure it out on your own, I don't care. Go try to figure it out on your own. You will all come back to your saltwater guy. We know that. One of my good friends, Pat, he owns the Lionfish he said this a long time ago. There's all these flavors of the month out there, but you, Dave, you're chocolate. And everybody comes back to chocolate, always. So I'm not going anywhere. I might not be the flavor of the month right now. You might want to go check out someone else's website that knows how to catch a bluefin. I mean, they're really hard to catch. You throw a bobber out there and they eat it. You wind them in. But we have videos on every fish that swims in the ocean, and we have the greatest game plans that come out every Thursday. So I'm just letting you know because he asked the question. Kelly Girl tells me not to talk about myself so much, but I love me.
Anyway, break it down. I can verify all that info. I'm living proof. I'm involved. I do all the game plans. I give away information. I do everything possible to make a great experience on my end, as well as Dave. Yeah, it's crazy, that site. I mean, there's nothing like it.
And then if you become a member of Bill's surf fishing bundles, you get to call Bill. You can become a member of your saltwater guide. You get to call Captain Al Clowers. You get to put together a comprehensive game plan for fishing the back. Al's back bay game plans are just absolutely incredible. Everybody tells me, I can't believe Al's willing to share that. Well, he's like me. We're old. If we don't share it, and Bill, you summed it up real good the other day when you talked about the guy that taught you how to surf fish. If we don't share it, we're going to die with all the information, which is what? Worthless when we're dead.
Absolutely. And it's a complete heartbreak that you can't pass it off to new generations.
Right. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to just make it a better, softer, kinder community. It's weird, especially guys like Bill and Al and I, our age. We're not allowed to share information in our circles, but we do. We're sharing it every day, gang. Take advantage of Captain Al Clowers, though, right now. What does tomorrow look like, Al? Would it be a good day to go fishing in the back bay?
Tomorrow morning, the tides, actually, I didn't talk about that, but the tides today and tomorrow are epic. if you want to just go out there and catch bass and stuff, you got a 5 foot, I think it's like 4.5, 5 foot tide swing starting at 7 o'clock in the morning today. And it starts about 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So the tides are great right now, and it's perfect conditions. The weather's great. The wind is low today. I think the wind's blowing 4 knots all day.
Wow. So there's some people listening right now that could call you right now and they could go fishing with you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. There you go, gang. It doesn't get much easier than that.
Right.
And
they're economically priced. It's $5.50 for 4 hours for the main bay, not the back bay, and it's $6.75 for 3 people in the back bay. That includes all the bait. If I can get ghost shrimp, I have them. If I can't, I have this other shrimp with me. You know, it entails a lot of stuff. Bunch of dead bait, chum bucket, chum tubes, all the different rods to catch all the different fish. So yeah, it's a really good deal.
Sounds like you better call right now, gang. Sounds like you better get on it. And then Darren just left a comment. You want to see what those artificial reefs look like underwater? I got to dive all the ones in Newport, Dana Point, San Onofre. And I'll tell you what, those things are absolutely incredible when you go under the water and look at them. That's why when we do those game plans or all the different videos I share with everybody about the artificial reefs, you guys have no idea the volume of fish that live on these artificial reefs. The guys that built them back in the day, they built them with science. I know it's hard to believe, Bill, but they use science when they put these things together. The way the rocks are shaped, the way they're stacked, the position that they're in, the depth that they're in, all that was in play. Like Isers is kind of a hard place to dive because it's 90 feet deep. So you only get 10 minutes of bottom time there. But the inside artificial reefs off of San Onofre, Newport, and down the coast, Mission Bay and all that, those reefs are insane. The volume of fish. I've been down on the bottom of those reefs before when all of a sudden you think there's an eclipse and you look up and it is a school of sargo and there's 1,000 sargo. And you're like, what? How come we never caught those? And then I know. I have a whole series on how to properly catch sargo on the artificial reefs. And when we figured it out, very small sinker, a very, very thin, small strip of squid, let it sink slowly in the water column with your chum tube that Al makes out. And all of a sudden you're catching these dinner plate size sargo on 4-pound and 6-pound on a little ultralight spinning rod. It is a kick in the pants. Yeah, going and spending $1,000 to catch a bluefin, that's fun. But I'll tell you what, go catch a sargo every time you throw your line in the water. That's some badass stuff.
Yeah, those artificial reefs are so interesting too. I've dove all the ones up in Hermosa, Manhattan. Well, not Manhattan, but Hermosa and Redondo. And those were built in the early 1960s, around 64. And what the one around 2nd Street in Hermosa, and then there's one that's a little bit out, kind of over by the canyon in Redondo there. The Hermosa one was made from an interesting thing that you'll never see allowed in the ocean again. Up on the hill above King Harbor was affordable housing, if you can believe that, back in the day, that overlooked the ocean and the harbor, talking about some nice affordable housing. And when the property got worth so much money in Redondo Beach, they decided to move the housing elsewhere and bulldozed it to build condominiums. So they took all the toilets and all the sinks, and that's what they used to make the artificial reef in Hermosa. And like you said, Dave, when you go down on it, it's this incredible pile of toilets. Now you can't tell at all that it was toilets. You'd have to dig into it. And then over toward the canyon side, they used the red car, train cars, that they took out on barges and dropped to the bottom there. So those are things they would never, I mean, they won't allow us to make one now unless it's ordained. And there's all these natural ways to do it. But back in the day, that's how they did it. They dropped that stuff down and they sunk boats, and that's how the fish came around. That's where they lived. They were stoked.
Yeah, Al, what were you saying about the reefs?
Oh, I was saying about the sargo. I said those things school up, big schools of them, and they swim through our marina in the summer. Last summer and the year before was when I started spotting them. And you're right, with the lightweight and the little tiny piece of squid, man, catch them right at the dock. But those are really fun fish to catch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're good eating. It's good table fare. It's a fun fish to catch, and we just don't want the government to find out we're enjoying it, or they'll put a moratorium on those things. So we got to be careful. Got to be careful. That's just one more fish that no one even really understands that's out there in astronomical numbers. Go ahead, Al.
Hey, just a quick shout out on these chum tubes. I'm making a new batch right now. I'm making like 100 of them. So I've sold quite a few to the members, and you definitely want to get these chum tubes to make your fishing a lot better. You know, they can call me direct at my number 619-800-3474, or get a hold of me through the community, or however they want to get them. But everybody that's bought one is really excited about it. They work really good.
Yeah, here's the thing, guys, with the ARs. I'm reading a bunch of comments. The artificial reef system, like Bill Varney was saying, you're not going to be able to make them anymore. The state of California, the regulations are just too mind-numbing to understand. You can't even imagine. They call it littering the ocean. Like a porcelain toilet, it's going to do nothing to the environment but make it better. Same with all these old ships that are all over the place. They made a new artificial reef called the North Wheeler Reef in San Clemente, but they put it, gang, this will blow your mind. And we were fighting this, Bill. We were fighting this, going to all these meetings. They put that artificial reef. That's the last artificial reef that was built. That was built about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, in San Clemente. They put the reef on top of a reef. So it didn't do anything but destroy this is how smart these people are. They took an already made reef that was made naturally by higher power, and then they dumped a bunch of rocks on top of this reef that was already established that had zillions of fish on it. And they dumped rocks on top of it. And what did that do? Well, for 10 years, there was nothing there because you destroyed the existing reef. Now there's stuff there, but it took 10 years for it to build back better, which was absolutely ludicrous. So there's no science on any of this stuff anymore. We can't build any cool reefs. We can't do anything, but we do have a guy now that's pulling all these stupid restrictions off of us, which is pretty spectacular. And maybe he can get rid of this silly governor in California. We could start doing some cool stuff again. But the wokeness has taken over, and people don't even understand what they're doing, but they're destroying the environment, unfortunately.
Yeah, Dave, with the artificial reefs, here's a perspective that most people don't know. So in California years ago, and some people might remember, there was a measure that came up in front of the legislature, which was decommissioning of oil platforms in California. And they had cut a deal with the oil companies where they said, cut them down far enough where they're not a problem with navigation. And in return for doing that, you'll save all kinds of money because you don't have to take the whole platform down. And you'll donate $200 million. I think it was $200 million. I think it was a year or per platform to the state to be used for ecological reasons. And the legislature voted on it and said, this is what we want. It went to the governor's desk and he vetoed it. And he said the reason he did was it's a good idea, but he's not getting in bed with the oil companies. Well, that was years ago. That was 20 years ago or more in California. And since that point, they have never allowed any type of artificial reef to be built. Well, in the meantime, CCA in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina has been building and planting reefs for at least 2 decades now, 2 or 3 decades. 4 years ago, CCA spent $18 million building reefs, artificial reefs around Florida. And these reefs are made, like somebody commented on here, they have the highest technology in them. They're made of a mixture of oyster shells and clay, basically, and they're shaped like giant mushrooms with holes in them. It kind of reminds me of the pots you used to buy to plant strawberries in, where they grow out of the sides. And then, first of all, because of their natural substance, they fit right on the floor of the ocean, and then they become a host almost immediately to fish. And then in addition to that, on the East Coast, and they just sunk one a couple of months ago, they often will sink ships, which, they clean out, make sure it's just the interior of the ship, and sink them and use them as artificial reefs. So other places in the country, they still make artificial reefs. They're very technologically advanced. They do incredible work. And in California, nothing.
But you know what you said? The 2 states that are doing this, they're red.
Right. Texas and Florida.
And they care more about the environment than any blue state ever will or ever has, gang. You don't understand. When you build an artificial reef, that's so good for the environment. It's so good for fish. It's so good for the fishermen. It just adds more area for us to go fish. Here's the funny thing about California, gang. They built an artificial reef, and then they made that an MLP. So here's a reef that we paid for, and then they closed the area to fish in, even though we built it with our money. I talk about it on my show all the time. There's a lot of reefs in the MPAs, which is just hard to even wrap your head around, gang. It's just the craziest thing you've ever seen. But Captain Al, our good friend, where'd that go? Our good friend Bob has a comment up there. He wants to get those maps from you. The best thing for him to do is call you, right?
Yes, sir.
All you got to do is call him. He'll tell you the prices. He might even make you a deal, but you're going to have to pick up that phone. I know it weighs 1,000 pounds for most of you, but you got to pick it up, and you got to dial Captain Al Clower's phone number. And it's right there on the screen again, 619-800-3474, 1-800-GO-FISH, or whatever you say, Al. What do you say?
619-800-FISH.
There you go, gang. That's how you're going to find out. Don't be afraid to pick up. I know it's the weirdest thing. Most people don't understand. When you call any of us, we answer the phone. Like I say when I'm doing my live shows up on stage, when you call my HR department, I do answer.
Or any other department for that matter.
Yeah,
the
all
monkey
the department. When you push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm the guy that answers every single time. And I love to hear your complaints. Kelly and I we'll put them up. I'll put it on the speaker. We love listening to people that take time out of their busy day to call me to tell me they don't like me. I think that's fun. Some of our funnest phone calls. Let me think. You called
one
me.
Last thing, Dave, about those artificial reefs is that they're really important for science because it allows them to establish a base point where there's nothing. There's just the structure there. And then from that point on, they can figure out how long it takes algae to grow, kelp to grow on it, how long it takes the fish to come around it, what type of fish they are, how quickly they grow. That's all the data that we need that we would normally get in these MPAs, right? If we had money for a scientist to dive in there and know what a base point was and go from then on to see if they're working or not. So that's one of the great things about the artificial reefs is they allow you to see the natural progression of nature and then based on that extrapolate facts as far as how long it takes for things to grow or fish to come and what kind of food they eat and things like that.
And do this, Captain Al, speak up a little bit because you know me, I'm yelling and then they got their volume down and then you talk and they can't hear you.
Oh, man. Okay, what do you need? My phone number again?
They just want to hear your voice. There's a lot of people that get off on your voice, bro.
Hey, so on the maps, best way to do is call me I think by the end of next week, they'll all be on my store and on my site, CaptainClowers.com, along with the chum tubes. But yeah, if they're local, they can come by and pick them up. If they're not local, I can ship them. But every one of those maps are going to be on my site at the end of next week, I believe. But until then, they can just call me and come pick them up, or I'll ship them to them.
And you'll be at the PCS show, and you'll have a handful of those maps in the booth, gang. You guys swing by the PCS show. Everybody will be in the booth. It's hard. The booth is only 9 feet wide and 20 feet long, and every inch of that carpet will have feet on it. It's crazy, gang. It is crazy. We love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it, but it's from the second the show opens till it closes on Sunday. It's nonstop in the booth. We love all of you. We love you guys coming and seeing all the cool stuff we have for you. And yeah, it's pretty spectacular. And Al will have his stuff. Bill Barney will be there slinging his stuff. And Pablo will be there. Justin will be there. Sonny might make a guest celebrity appearance. He's so busy now with his big yacht job that we're hoping he can make a guest celebrity appearance there. And then Kelly Girl and I will be having our part of the booth. We kind of have our own little part of my booth over on the far. If you're standing looking at the booth on the far right side, that's kind of where Kelly and I mount up. But we're all over in the booth. But it's pretty spectacular that we get that many people in that little tiny booth. It's wild.
Can we wear masks when we're in the booth?
If you want to become a Democrat, you can wear whatever you want.
Yeah, hey, I'll be locked and loaded with chum tubes and maps. So if they want to get them there, that's great. I'll have all the maps. I'll have a plethora of chum tubes. And I'm going to carry them into Dave's booth and litter the booth with them.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
We'll be tripping over chum tubes.
Nice.
What do you say about the chum tubes? I couldn't hear him.
We'll be tripping over them.
No, I'm gonna have, the plan works out. I'm gonna have my motorhome up there, so and it'll be close to the gate, so I can just run out and grab whatever they want, so we're not tripping over them. You know?
Nice. All right,
Sounds
you guys
good.
got anything else? Anybody got any more questions for these two knuckleheads?
The only thing I can say is if you're a surf angler, get out there in the next 3 days or so and enjoy it. And man, if you're not and you just have a chance to get down to the beach, look at your tide chart, look for that low tide, get down there and take a look at all the rocks and the holes and the fish and the starfish and the sea anemones. It's awesome. I love this time of year.
Right, and come on down after the surf fish or before the surf fish and go bait fishing with me. Hey, speaking about tide charts, I'm using a new tide chart. It's called Predict Wind. Check it out on the App Store. It's free. If you want to upgrade, you can get all the clone charts and everything else. But I'm using it every day. It's really quick. So I have the app. I pop it up there, and you can scroll right to it, real-time situation. And, yeah, it's the newest and greatest one that I'm using. Just want to throw that out there. Predict Wind.
Nice, Al. Good job, buddy. All right, everybody. Nobody's got any. Okay, so listen. Right in the very beginning of the show, gentlemen guessed 14 legal lobsters. That is what Justin ended up legal lobsters last night. He had well over 100, but he had 14 legal lobsters last night. Pretty cool.
Beautiful. That's great. That's great, man. That's a good bag.
That's
Absolutely.
$1,000 in store lobster.
Yeah, it is. That's a spectacular night out there.
Yeah. Jeez.
Thank you all for watching last night. Thanks for watching our show today. Thank you for being a part of this, Bill and Al and all of you watching at your houses. Thank you all. Thanks for all the call-ins. Thanks for all the kind words. We appreciate everything. Tomorrow's our day off. It's the only day off we take. We'll be back live with you on Monday. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great weekend and go fishing.